We're gonna get in the bathtub together though.
Oh, you're making me feel weird about it.
No, I don't know. I've never done that before. I just think that would be a bit weird with my sister.
There's a lot of shit that you don't know about our culture that you're gonna find weird.
Hey guys, I'm Josh.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Ashley.
And today we're going to be talking about dating and related?
Nah, man, it's dated and related.
Dang.
Yeah, that's all right, brother. You got it. Dated and related.
That would be a better show.
That's right. Yeah, dating and
That'd be
related.
different. That'd be different.
Well, that one would be filmed in West Virginia, but this one was not. This one was filmed in France. So.
France, yeah.
International, a lot of
yeah,
that's right.
International.
Yeah, there was only like in the very beginning
siblings.
there were a couple of American siblings that came out, but then other than that it was primarily like people from the UK. You had the last ones that were from Ireland. You had a couple siblings from Cyprus. Some Greeks in there.
Although I think they're really from the UK, but posing as
that's
being
debatable.
from
From
Cyprus.
Cyprus, right, because of their voices, their accents.
The Canadian.
I looked.
Oh, the Canadians. Yeah,
I
the
looked
Canadian
her
siblings.
Alora up and it says she was born and lives in UK. So I'm like, how is she from Cyprus?
Yeah. They lie to you, man.
I don't
The
know.
point is, when you have a dating show like this that's so international, like how do you even expect these couples to
stay
last
exactly,
after?
right?
Like you got somebody on two different continents.
Yeah,
like,
I was saying the exact same thing. What the hell is this? This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of my issues with this show is it just seems like a hookup show more than a long-lasting relationship.
Yet there were no hookups.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think anybody actually
Spoiler.
slept together. Well, it's because they had them all sleeping in the same room, though. It's kind of hard to. Well, I guess it's really not hard if you really wanted to do it, but it's still a little awkward with your brother and sister together.
Or
in a
maybe
room.
something frisky happened at night and they just decided not to
show it. Yeah.
I don't know. But they didn't talk about it or anything, so
No, man.
it was pretty tame as far as that goes.
Well, that was kind of weird that you had everybody in the show was siblings, and they brought out the two dudes that were cousins. And it was like, what was up with that?
They were related.
And they were related.
They fit the name.
But they kept calling everybody siblings throughout the whole show, but they weren't.
Yeah.
They were cousins.
Yeah.
I think they just wanted to get these two, good-looking F-boys on there. And
Yeah,
just,
they're good-looking
stir the pot up a
guys,
little bit,
and they seem like they like the party, so
I
probably thought they'd be
they were
interesting.
good looking, I guess, but I wasn't into either one of them until the dancing.
He's grinding on my sister. I am trying to look away, but I can feel the whole motion. It's horrendous.
The magic mic is going on here. Yeah, they're like,
All I do is doing the freaking
the
magic mic dance. Yeah.
I
was
love
like, wow,
where the
he
guy's
went up
like,
a couple notches in my book.
he's like, what in the magic mic is
What's
going
going
on
on?
here?
Dude, that dude's funny, man. I love that dude, man. He was awesome.
Yeah, he was my favorite.
Yeah, the younger,
Kieran.
Kieran, the shorter of the two twins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Identical twins that were not identical.
No, they weren't identical.
So what do you
But they
think of
were
this?
identical twins.
No, they said we're not identical.
They are identical twins.
No, I don't think so.
How can they be identical if
They
they
weren't.
look alike?
He said we're not
Cheers.
identical. Like they flat out said in the beginning.
How can they be identical?
Yeah,
They look completely
I'm
different.
pretty sure they're identical.
No, they weren't.
No, the girls
They
said
even
they
said-
were.
Someone's been
the
drinking a little
girls
too
said,
much.
I have been drinking.
No,
today.
Kieran and Kaz also said that they're not identical.
No, they said that they were.
No.
Comment below or in the comments. Let us
Comment
know
below.
what you know.
we're classed as identical twins, but we don't share the same features.
I'm taller, I'm bigger.
Yeah, he's got a bigger head.
Yeah,
Don't
because
know
even the female twin said we're not identical.
They're
And
Yeah, and I
everybody-
was like, huh?
Because
You
everybody
look
was like,
exactly
huh? You look,
alike.
yeah, exactly. Same fake boobs,
Well,
same fake lips,
I
everything,
think they just had enough plastic surgery to
Yeah,
make
the exact
themselves
same. Yeah,
look
exactly.
alike. I mean, they couldn't, like, at first I thought it was their accent, but they couldn't, they slurred their words, like they sounded
Mm-hmm.
drunk most of the time. And I thought it was just their accent and they're kind of like lazy in pronouncing
Yeah,
the words.
Those Kardashian twins, man.
But the more and more I watched, they literally could not close their lips.
No, it's just like-
The top lip was
Yeah, too
so
much Botox,
fat,
man.
like
Yeah,
they
too much Botox,
just
man.
could not close the lips of the words.
Yeah, he said too much Botox. Yeah, like everything on them seemed fake, their whole freaking.
Yeah.
So what'd you guys think of this house?
That was beautiful. That was
I hated
beautiful.
the house.
Beautiful
the house,
chateau.
the house looked beautiful, but they only
Inside.
showed like 2 or 3 rooms
Yeah,
inside
didn't
of
show the
it.
whole thing, but
Yeah, you don't see like a
that
big
view.
living room, like a big you think there's this big grand living room or something, and there's like a small area when they come up from the pool
Mm-hmm.
that's inside, and then you see the little dressing room area where the girls are putting their makeup
You
on.
see that a lot.
You see the bathroom lot where they're all brushing their teeth. You know, especially
really,
Joey. Like Joey's always brushing his damn teeth. You know, that kid.
the cleanest teeth.
Yeah, his dental hygiene is off the chart.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure he does anything but brush his teeth.
Yeah, I think that's all that kid does, brush his teeth, man.
But poor editing on his part.
Yeah.
For him, you know, he's like, I brush my teeth once a day, guys. Like, but that's all they show.
I just like feeling fresh, like mate, always.
Yeah.
But
What
the
else was
bedroom
kind of
was
annoying
kinda
to me
weird.
was that the lips phone thing
Oh, yeah,
where
it was-
everyone
yeah.
could hear it. So I'm like, what is this?
Yeah,
Why are
one
you
person's-
holding it
yeah,
to your
ear?
face?
Yeah, when it's on
Yeah.
speaker the whole time. Yeah,
And
it
I
was stupid.
seriously doubt the host is actually communicating with them live, like over a cell phone through this thing.
Yeah, he kind of ruined it for me
Right.
because he was like, I bet you she didn't even film when they flashed to her, like on the boat, making
Yeah.
the phone call or on the
Yeah,
beach,
on the
making
beach,
the phone
Yeah,
call.
no.
she's always
Like,
somewhere
that's
chilling.
probably recorded some other time.
exactly.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, and I was thinking
you're
the same
probably
thing.
right. That ruined it a
She
little
wasn't
bit.
too much. Melinda wasn't too much of a part of it though. So
No, she wasn't, man.
she just rolled in when she needed to, and that was it.
No, but she
I
was
like-
hot.
She was hot. Yeah, she was hot. And, you know, and I liked her attitude. I thought she was a good hostess. You know, I thought she did a good job in it. So that's cool,
Yeah.
Melinda.
All right, let's get into the premise of the show here.
All right. So you got these mostly siblings, except for the cousins,
Yeah.
that are on there to find love with somebody else. So
Not just find love, but they're there to wingman each other too, right? So
Right.
That's one of the big parts of the game.
So I found it interesting at the beginning when Joey and Karina won the first thing to choose who they wanted to go on the date with. They had to choose a pair to go on a date with. So when they chose the Bishop brothers,
Kaz and Kieran.
it was like Joey was just kind of wingmanning because it's like, well, there's no female there for me to date. So, you know, it's just kind of.
But he did his sister a solid, you know.
Right. But later in the show, they got to pick, like siblings got to pick individuals to go on a date with. So I thought that was weird that they just kind of changed it up and they didn't really
Well,
explain that.
when there's a lot of unfair stuff too, I thought for like, especially in the beginning when you had all these different groups of siblings in the very beginning, and you got the two blondes from Texas who are cute. You know, but when you're looking at them compared to the Kardashian twins, I mean, pretty much every guy in there was just like, I am those Kardashian twins. So
I don't get it.
Those two blondes didn't stand a chance, right?
I don't get
I hate
it.
those two
People were
blondes didn't-
all about Nina
I
and Diana.
do
Oh, yeah.
not
Oh, yeah.
understand it. I mean, they look so fake.
Oh yeah, totally fake.
They were so hard to deal with. They were just like so needy. So I just don't get it. I don't get the obsession with these two.
I did like how people were talking to them, and then another sibling pair would be like looking over the balcony, like,
Right.
look at these two guys taking their shot or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're waiting to take their shot. You know, they're waiting for their
It's
turn.
just weird to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, Karina seemed very natural and very kind and sweet. I liked
Yeah.
her.
She did, but at the same time, she was almost trying too hard. Like, oh, you how about you have me for dinner? You know, and all that stuff. Like, it's
I
really
did
just,
find it
you know,
funny at the end. You find out
that
that
she's a virgin.
She's a virgin, and that she's saving herself for marriage. But literally every date she goes on, she is the aggressor
Oh, yeah,
in the
big time.
flirtation. Like, she is like, "Am I gonna get that kiss?" Or like, you know, she's
Yeah.
very aggressive. But then she's just like, you find it. It didn't
Oh,
add
yeah.
up to me, but you know,
There was no. I mean, after you found that out, based on all the people that were in that house, there was no way she was going to go home with anybody. I mean, no guy in that house was going to be like, yeah, I'm willing to wait till marriage, honey. No, that wasn't going to happen.
but
Like,
also
once you
she's
found that out,
only like 23 or 24. She's very young, and
Mhm.
she said she'd been in a 5-year relationship and a 2-year relationship before that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you need to be single for a little bit, girl.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I thought
enjoy
she was
single
nice
life.
though.
Yeah, she
I
was
did
nice.
like her,
Yeah, she was
and
nice. And Joey was cool too. I like her brother
initially-
Joey. He was
Joey
cool.
was my initial. Well, that's not true. I liked Kaz, I liked Karen, and I liked Joey. And then I was really rooting for Joey. But then Joey just irritated the crap out of me. The more this show
Mhm.
went on, I was like, come on. Like,
Yeah, he was.
this
he
back
was,
and forth with Julia was, you know, I really like you.
It was
And,
lame.
like,
You know, it was freaking lame.
Like,
It was
do you
lame.
really
Yeah,
like
it
me?
Well, they both
That's what
were
I
like
mean.
Julia was like kind of like prissy to a lot of people,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
Yeah.
shy at the same time.
Yeah, when
And
they're-
he's shy and introverted, and he did say it at some point. He's like, "I'm never going to be the loudest guy in the room.
Right,
If that's
exactly.
what you're looking for, that's not me." And I like that he put that out there.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing: is I don't know how much of this is editing. If you really look at all 10, is it 10 episodes that we watched?
Yeah, 10 episodes.
You never really see, except for Kaz and Diana. you never see them get to know each other.
Yeah, not really.
You always hear them talking about their stupid energy and vibing, and it drove me insane.
Hey, man, they got energy and they
like,
vibe.
oh my God, like, I really love your energy. Like, I really think we're vibing. I love your vibe and your energy and your energy and your vibe. And I'm like, if I hear the words energy and vibe one more time, I'm just going to lose my mind. I am not vibing with this energy right now.
Right. Well, the thing that killed me
But they
about
didn't really talk and get to know each other.
And I think a lot of that's probably editing. You know, I think a lot of it was probably editing because I'm sure they did at some point. We're sitting down and chatted and had time to talk with each other. But like with Joey, you know, that dude to me was just like, I mean, he had his sister telling him, "Hey, she wants you to freaking pick it up a notch and actually talk to her and kind of, you know, initiate." And then even her freaking brother, who Joey had the bromance with, Daniel, he was like, "Dude, my sister's into you, man. You need to talk to her."
Yeah.
And then like the whole time, Joey's just like, you know, brushing his teeth while while other dudes are freaking hitting her
Well,
up.
I
you
do
know?
think it seemed like the show was going on longer than reality because, like, when Henry and William got there, they said something like, "We've only been here like 12 hours." I'm like, man, it seems like you guys are something like that. But it seemed like they'd been there like a week already. So a lot was kind of
No,
happening.
I literally think it was only about a 2-week time period. I mean, when you told me 2 weeks and I said, "Is that it?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's probably longer." And after I got on watching, I was like, "No, I think you're right. I think it was about 2 weeks." Like the whole thing, the whole time period.
I
Didn't seem
really
very long.
wish that they had showed us. I mean, maybe it's a privacy thing, you know, as far as getting to know each other. They need to get to know each other. We don't need to get to know them.
Right.
So maybe they're not letting us in on those conversations. But, like, you never see Joey and Julia talk about other than, I just want you to know that I'm really into you and that I only have eyes for you.
And maybe
I
that
dig
was
your
forced by the
energy.
show.
And, like,
Maybe they weren't into each other, but the producers were like, we have a love show going on here, so
It's
you guys
just
need
strange.
to do something.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised they didn't force them to do like dates and things and
Yeah.
rotate it around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They did like a little competition. Someone won. They went on a date, but that was almost it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but I tell you what, I did appreciate though. I did appreciate, you know, especially in the very beginning with the first vote out, the elimination, and they were putting people on the spot. They're like, "Oh, hey, you guys won the contest. Guess what? You get to vote the first couple out." You know,
I did like that.
I was like, "Oh, that's cool," you know, because then you're like, I mean, you're putting people on the spot, and they're like, "Okay, sorry guys," you know, but. So I thought that was cool, and then you know, or then whenever they all had to vote on somebody, but they made them vote out loud, like, well, I think this couple, you know, these siblings should go, and I think, you know, so it was never like a hidden agenda, and nobody, you know, everybody always knew who voted against them, you know, and I was like, that's pretty cool how they did that.
So if you were single and in this house, what female would you have gone for?
Honestly, I didn't really. After watching it, I didn't really like any of them. I mean, Karina was kind of cool, I guess, you know, because she was nice. She was a sweetheart. You know, Julia was cool, I guess, you know, but even with her, it was kind of like, because of just how wishy-washy they made her and Joey seem together, you know, and then, you know, maybe the one that Kieran ended up with, she was kind of cool. But, I mean, there wasn't really a single female I was like, man, I would just totally dig that chick, you know. I don't think there was.
And you?
I like Karina just because I think she is sweet out of all of them, where she just seems like a regular, normal person. But
she seemed like she was genuinely looking for a relationship, whereas some people seem like they were there to play the game and win some money.
And probably I like the way Alora looked, but I don't know if I would like her personality. I don't know.
She's loud, man. She loves
she is.
Her energy, maybe.
Yeah, her energy's a little off for me.
She had high energy. Yeah, man.
Because she came in the house like a hurricane initially.
She knew what she wanted. Kieran, he's mine. I want him, you know.
Yeah,
you know, and I was torn on what I felt about that because, you know, she's coming in there. She's looking at it as if this is a dating show of some sort. You know, I'm here to find. And this is the person I'm attracted to. He didn't say he was off limits.
Right.
And
the thing is, by the time she came into the picture,
she's like, why am I going to try to go for somebody I'm not attracted to? I'm going for the guy that I want. If he really truly is off limits, he'll shut me down. But he didn't.
Yeah. And when she came into the picture, it'd only been like 5 days into it, right? So it's like, you know, how you know, it's like really how, aside from, you know, Kaz and freaking Diana, and even then, it's like it's been 5 days. You know, I mean.
But she did back off quite a bit after that initial like phase. But she was gunning pretty hard. She's like, I could probably kiss him better. And I was like, dang.
And
you just met these people.
And Nina did not like that.
No.
Well, he didn't shut that down right away.
Well, then I loved how the next episode, or a couple episodes later, the name of the episode was Hypocrite. Because Nina was being a complete hypocrite that whole freaking episode and everything she said. And I was just laughing. I was like, what a perfect name for this episode.
And she said, why didn't I shut that down? Why didn't I shut that down? You didn't shut it down. And he's like, I literally asked you yesterday, would you shut that down if the role was reversed? And you said, absolutely, I would never let that happen. And she said, I don't know how to shut that down because you didn't shut it down.
You know, when I make fun of people, you give me crap, and you're totally crapping on these girls.
You get a little bit of alcohol, Billy. It's a different show around here.
Yeah.
It's a different show.
She brought it. It's.
And you gotta do it with your lips out like this.
It's all about. Anyway,
So what guys did you fancy in this show?
I liked Joey at first. I really did like Joey. I thought he was kind of innocent and sweet and good looking, and I liked Joey. But the more I watched it, I was like, come on, man, make a move. He just kind of...
he was lame.
He was really lame. Like, I was like, okay, you have nothing to... I'm not really vibing with your energy, Joey. I liked Kaz at first, and I could understand why Karina was, like, really into Kaz.
Kaz's a good-looking dude, yeah.
Kaz's good-looking dude. Jason's a good-looking dude.
But then Kieran, I really liked Kieran, and I was all in on Kieran for a while until Jalen came in, and Jalen kind of like... I felt bad for Jalen.
Jalen was cool, man. I like Jalen.
Jalen reminded me of Ben Stiller. Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought he was good looking. I thought he was funny. And I guess that's what I liked about Kieran and Jalen. Those were the top two for me, I guess.
We had Joey looking like freaking Justin Timberlake with his hair.
Yeah, he kind of did. And that was kind of interesting, too, because those, like, Henry and William come in, and they're, tall and good looking.
I
and
had
then
zero interest in that.
The Irish
Henry and
chick,
William.
Rachel, was kind of, she chose, I guess, looks over, like, personality, and then I think kind of regretted it a little bit.
I think Jalen's better looking than the Wade twins or whatever. But I mean, everybody has their own cup of tea.
Jalen's probably the least amount in shape of
exactly. And that's the thing he didn't have going for him that everybody else did. Well, that was kind of the unfair part for the Irish twins because they came in literally like 3 days left, right? So everybody else had plenty of time to get to know each other, and most people already hooked up by this point,
right?
So then they're coming in with like really just little
the leftovers,
little to choose from, and it's like that's kind of messed up,
And the Wade twins, when they came in, now these are
those
like
dudes.
the British, like tall.
Proper.
Well, they acted like they came for money. They acted like they were just like, but they were so arrogant. It wasn't confidence; it was arrogance.
Well, more so for Will. Will was definitely just an arrogant douchebag,
and he just kind of went along with whatever. And then he mentioned the money, and oh my god, that pissed everybody
several
off
times
because he kept mentioning the money. And he mentioned it at prom, and that kind of made that like an uneasy situation.
With Julia. Yep.
And then when the Julia conversation, how did you guys feel about the Julia conversation the day after prom?
Blown out of proportion for sure.
Well, it was definitely blown out of proportion, but he was still a douche. Dude was definitely a douche. And it's like you didn't. And when the thing is, I'm like, well, how has she not seen that? It's like
right.
I'm not a supporter of his, but if you go back and actually listen to what he said, it wasn't harsh at all.
No, I agree. It wasn't super harsh, but the guy he did immediately bring up the money again. Look, there's $100,000 here at stake. So it's like, are you here to find love or are you here for $100,000, man? It's like,
I don't know if any of them.
She got just very offended by the way he reacted to her rejecting him. I don't know if she wanted him to be more sad about it. Well, I don't know.
Here's what I find odd about this is like he's telling her, hey, you need to come out of your shell and be this. That's essentially what he's saying. Yeah. And that's essentially what she says to Joey.
Right, exactly.
So, and, it was almost the same conversation.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's just if he had, I still think she would have reacted the same, but he threw the money thing on top of it, and that just really rubbed her the wrong way. But so I do think it was a misunderstanding. I thought it was blown out of proportion, but I got the vibe that he was not a good guy.
Well, I think everyone else did too, because that wasn't the first conversation that annoyed someone. If that was, then maybe they would let it go. But the prom thing where he mentioned the money, then that, and then he has the Rachel blow up.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, why didn't anybody tell Rachel about this dude? Right? Like, hey, you don't want that guy. Here's what's going on with him. Like, you think somebody would have told her that? She'd like, oh, okay, let me stay clear of that guy. But nah, man, nobody told her.
You would think that Jalen's sister, Alara, would have said that. Hey, I see that you're kind of struggling choosing
Julia,
between...
you'd think Julia would have came up to her and be like, hey, girl, this is what,
Well, they did after they had the conversation.
After the fact, yeah. Well, then, because the way he went about Rachel, man, he was like, oh, yeah, I'm not worried about Jalen. Like, you'd be lucky to have me anyway. And he was like, just being super arrogant. I was like, dude.
They're so arrogant.
Like, and the way she was looking at him, she was just like...
She could see through his BS.
Oh, yeah.
I did like that after the girls kind of attacked him after that Rachel conversation.
The mob came after him.
Yeah.
The pitchforks were out.
And then, I like that Kieran kind of came... like it didn't make Alara happy that he kind of came to save him, but it's like, you know, nothing good can come from this.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He doesn't want to see another guy attacked by 6 women. It's not like the guy like physically attacked her. People just don't like him and he rubs people the wrong way. Does that mean he needs to be attacked by a mob?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Probably not. So he's like, let's
I like
just
Kieran went in to
down.
like bail him out a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but I
like,
also like that Rachel said, you know, well, this was really my beef. I didn't ask the girls to go do that, so let me go clear the air with him. And she cleared the air. And I did appreciate the fact that he owned up that it's a defense mechanism. Because if you watch the conversation, going into the conversation, you have the little diary room of him saying, I really feel this is like a good connection. I can see this going somewhere. And then she says, I just don't really feel this. Oh, exactly. Same, yeah.
Well, and he did the exact same thing to Julia. You know, exact same thing to Julia.
You know, he goes into the conversations and like she said, I feel like you had an answer backed up to no matter what it was I was saying. And he owned up to the fact that's a defense mechanism. He's being rejected. You know what I mean? No one likes to be rejected. So
yeah, I'm fine with that. And this just shows you how like communications can go wrong if you just talk it out. You know.
Yeah.
But people like assume the worst sometimes in circumstances.
But I wish he had given Jalen a chance because I like Jalen.
Jalen's cool, man. I like Jalen. Yeah. I wish somebody would give that dude a chance. He seemed like genuine, just cool dude. You know, he was a good guy. But like Josh said, he was by far the least fit guy in the house. And so I mean, he just had a huge, you know, it was very much unfair to him. Huge disadvantage right off the bat, right? Because all these other dudes are ripped. You know, most of them are tall. Jalen's short. He's not ripped. You know, so
it was kind of awkward even when Julia was dancing with Joey, and he was just kind of like, "What do I do here?" You know, and his sister was trying to get him in there.
Yeah.
But what can you do? You know, what'd you think about Chris and his 85 women?
Oh, that was nuts, dude. That was nuts. Like, I mean, how old are those guys? Like 25, 26, something like that,
That's
man.
all young to be hitting
like,
85.
a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and then it's like, he's like, oh, I think that might have like done me some harm in this house. Like,
Maybe.
you think?
Maybe.
you think any chick's gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, like no.
I'm pretty sure the girls are sitting there doing some math. Like,
Yeah.
I like that Diamond like outed him, like she's hanging out with them, and he's like, I wonder who said it, and she's like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And let's not forget about Diamond and Dion. What did you think of them?
So Dion was a goofy dude, but he was cool. I liked him. He was cool.
Dion.
He was just a cool, goofy dude, man.
He wore like a chicken suit or something to bed at night.
Yeah,
like
but then he was a
pajamas.
weirdo too, dude. When he's asking the girls questions like, "Oh, well, you know, would you rather pee through your penis or would you rather?"
I was like, "What are you doing,
dude?
Yeah.
It's like, what is wrong with you?"
He just took it a little too creepy weird, but I mean, I think he'd be a fun guy.
The Optimus Fine joke.
Oh yeah, dude, it was like crickets. I was like, what is wrong?
I
with
loved
this
it
guy?
when he like tripped into the pool and like kind of like tried to float that off.
Yeah, poor
That was
guy.
nice.
I was like, man, what is up? Why is it? I mean, because he was a cool kid. You know, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell he was a genuine person. You know, but it's like, dude, why are you?
So, what did
Man.
you think about the challenge that Jalen and Alara had to
That was funny.
convince people that they were going to take a bubble bath together?
Yeah, I think it could have gone better. Like they could have gone, more crazy with it. But I still think it was pretty funny though.
I loved Kieran. He's like, together.
Yeah.
like together. Like
On top.
on top.
You're both having a bath together? Yeah. You're gonna get in the bath together, like top and tail.
Yeah.
You got a problem with that?
Is that weird? Now you're making me feel weird about it. Is that weird? No, I'm just asking.
He seemed like he was trying to probe and get to the bottom. Like, what?
And it's like, you guys
He's
gonna
like, if you guys want to do it, go
and
ahead.
it's like,
He
you
said,
guys,
"Can
are
you
you
do it
guys,
separately or what?"
are you guys gonna be in bathing suits? And Jalen's like, maybe.
I wish there was more of that. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny. And especially since Alara was trying to date Kieran.
Right, exactly.
And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
she's trying to convince the very guy she's dating that it's totally normal to take a bubble bath with her brother.
Yeah,
Well, then after everybody found out, she was like, "Whew, thank God!" You know, it was over. I was like,
Kieran
oh,
realizes
man.
I don't bathe with my brother.
Yeah, right.
I also like the pass the parcel kind of competition that they were doing because that
the
created
parsnip.
that created some
Yeah.
interesting.
What's a parcel?
It's never good. What the fuck is a parcel?
I'm gonna pass this parsnip.
That created for some interesting moments.
yeah, that
I
was cool.
did like that game.
Oh yeah, and you had all
We
what?
should play that game.
Yeah,
Not on that like that level.
Yeah, you've had too much.
gonna go suck on his neck over there real quick. Have a good time.
I'm just saying that would be a fun party game. You don't have to put like the dirty
next Christmas
sexual
party.
stuff in it.
Next family Christmas party, we'll play Pass the Parcel.
The white elephant gift, that's out. Woo, that's out. Now we're messing with this one.
Oh my gosh.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
To clarify.
We're gonna pass this parsnip around, or the parcel, or whatever it is. I guess it's from the UK or something. And those UK parties must be freaking lit.
Yeah, and when Chris and Jason kind of came in, they were very annoying initially, but they
dude.
calmed down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, because I think they finally got the kind of rug pulled out from underneath them. Like, wow, we are, going way overboard here, being kind of stupid. We need to chill and actually act like we're trying to find love, not like we're trying to have sex with every girl in the freaking building.
I think they expect everyone to be fawning over them.
They
and
did.
it was
They
quite
totally
the
did.
opposite.
They totally did. Yeah,
They totally expected
Well, and the
that.
reason it was quite the opposite because they acted like they expected all the women to be fawning
Yeah.
over them, and they knew it. And the women were like, "Oh, they're total f boys."
But why was everybody fawning over the Parajani?
Because they're fake, man. They're the
I
fake
don't
Kardashian
understand.
twins,
Can
man.
someone
That's why.
explain it to me?
Well, I mean, there weren't a lot of good options in the
That's
house.
true. Yeah.
They had those Texas girls, and they were a bit odd too, and they were just
No
kind
one
of
even
there,
gave
but they
them a
weren't doing
chance.
much.
No, yeah, nobody gave them a chance.
I'm
Well,
surprised those two didn't try and get with them.
well, what's his name? The goofy kid did give the one a
Yeah.
chance, and she kissed him, and she's like, nah.
She was quick to make
Yeah.
out with him,
Yeah.
but she's
Yeah.
like, he's not for me.
Yeah.
That was just because I wanted to make out with somebody.
Well,
Like,
same with Chris. Diamond made out with Chris.
Yeah.
And Chris thought he was
And then
good. He's
she's
like,
like, I
okay,
changed my
fine.
mind.
And she's like, nah, never mind.
maybe they don't make out well. I don't know.
But yeah, you would think the Texas girls would get with the Jersey boys, and
Yeah, you would've thought so.
Something could have
Think-
happened there or something.
Well, I mean, what were they thinking about going into the house? Because if you're thinking about like just finding someone you're attracted to, are you finding a genuine connection? Are you playing for the money? What are you playing
Right.
for? Because in reality, if you're going in that house and you're from if you're from Texas and you see Jersey boys, it's like, okay, well, that can make that work a lot easier than me with some guy from
From
London.
the UK, right? Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like maybe I give that a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing just right off the bat was just screwed up. It's like, really, you're gonna put all these people from different countries in a room together
Yeah.
and have say, how do you expect this to work?
That's what I
Especially
like.
in 2 weeks, right? They're here for 2 weeks, and you're like expecting they're just gonna find true love, and somebody's gonna move from the U.S. to London.
That's
It's
what I
come on
like
now.
about Love is Blind. Like that
Yeah, they're all in
show,
the same
they're
city.
all in the same city.
Yeah.
So you never have to worry about this long distance thing. I mean, sure, it might be one end of the city to the other end of the city kind of thing, but when you're talking about The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, all these other like love and dating shows, you are talking about across the United States, and now this is across the world.
yeah, that's
Like
right.
it's not realistic to make these things work.
I did like when Henry and Will showed up, and then Kieran was by the pool, and then one of the two twins comes up to him and be like, "What's going on with you and old girl?"
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "What?"
She said she was single.
Or dude.
Oh, really?
He's like, "I'm gonna have to talk to her about
Yeah, figure this
that."
out. Or how about the part that was hilarious, man? When she's like, "All right, dudes, all right, guys, meet up by the pool. I've got 2 hot blondes or 2 hot brunettes coming, And they're like, "Yeah!" So they're all meeting up, and they bring the 2 dudes out.
Bring on the girls. Let's go. What?
Oh my God, they're dudes.
So that was pretty good. I like that little twist.
And I like when the twins get on scene like Kaz. It's like, "What is the deal with the hair?" He's like, "Mate, your hair looks fine. Quit messing with it."
Your hair's good, bro.
That was annoying me, the hair.
Oh, yeah.
The constant hair flipping.
And then he's like,
Taking some time out, just re-energizing. Lord Farquaad comes over.
"Here comes Lord Farquaad."
That was hilarious. Karen is hilarious, and
Oh,
I
that dude
love
is,
the
man.
comedy. I love the comedy.
Yeah.
Kieran's awesome, man.
So that's why Karen was a top contender for me and Jalen because of the comedy. They were both good looking and they were both funny. So those are the
no
two.
doubt.
I did like the aspect where they have someone to consult on this one and kind of like
yeah.
strategize and work
Their
it through.
siblings.
You know what I mean?
And I think as far as the siblings go, like I liked that they really did try to help each other, at least on some level. Even the Wade twins, I hate the Wade twins and I think they're arrogant, but Henry really came in there and tried to help out Will the best he could.
I'm telling you, man, Henry, he got a bad rep because his brother was such a douche throughout the whole show. But really, I mean, Henry had his mindset on Karina the whole time. He was super sweet and nice to her. He talked nice to her the whole time. He said, "Look, I'm into you." He wasn't going after anybody else. He never talked about the money. It was all Will doing that. And unfortunately for Henry, he just got caught up in Will's bad rep and it just, screwed him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Unfortunately.
something wasn't right there because she abandoned him
Yeah,
for
she picked Homeboy, yeah.
the Irish guy
Yeah.
there.
But I mean, I thought they were cool. I like
I don't think
Andy.
I
Andy
could-
was a cool guy.
could-
You know,
could do
Rachel was a
without
cool
that.
chick. You know, I thought they were cool. But you know, right off the bat, though, man, when Will was sitting up on her, I was like, oh, please don't fall for his crap. And then sure enough, she did. And I was like, man.
I know. I wish she had chosen Jalen at the
Mhm.
end, but not that I think that would have worked out either.
Nah, but it still worked out better for her in the end than being there with some freaking,
Yeah.
you know, the way that happened.
So then you come down to the end. You've got the 3 final couples, right? You've got Kaz and Diana, who have been together the whole show,
Mhm.
like from the beginning. He
Said he
made
loved
this
each other.
big like ordeal about how to tell her that he loved her. He
How to
made the
ask her
little
to be his
signs
girlfriend.
and asked her to be his girlfriend. So like that's strong and that's solid.
And the thing is, and they both live in the UK, right? So that can
Right.
work, you know?
And then you had Kieran and Alara, who, you know, Kieran had initially gone with Nina, the other Kardashian twin.
Mhm.
And I feel bad calling them the Kardashian twins, but
Well, there's
you know,
not really much.
Nina and Diana.
Nina
come
and
on.
Diana. You know, so he was with the other twin, and then that didn't work out because she's crazy.
Oh, yeah, she's
and
And a complete hypocrite. I mean, that was
complete
holy
hypocrite,
cow.
and she's crazy. Like I just
Well, it was kind of interesting because at first it was like I think Diana that was like the
yeah,
crazy
there
one,
was some
and then they
craziness
flip-flopped.
there. Yeah. They're very
And
like
Diana
they
got more
need-
down to earth, you know, and I was like, you know, because then, you know, because with her and Kaz, they were like, all right, let's not let this affect us, you know, so they stay
Right.
pretty cool, you know.
But then, so you had Karen and Alara, who like they eventually got together, and they seemed fun, and they both have the same vibe and energy, as
Mhm.
people love to say. Then you had what's his
Daniel.
name? Daniel and Nina,
Yep.
and Nina seemed to just kind of like fall into that, and like Daniel kind of swooped in on her when she became available,
Mhm.
and totally dropped Karina.
Yeah, disc Karina.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, now this
Like
is
everything
available,
was
you're
great
out.
Yeah,
until
yeah,
she
yeah.
became available, and then
And, like,
not so
you're
much.
out.
Yeah. Which is
And
the
I-
funny thing, because Karina has had this happen to her twice now. Kaz did it to her,
know.
and then freaking Daniel did it to her, but then she turns around and does it to another, you know, it's
I-
like, dude,
I
you
don't
just-
think he was too heartbroken.
You just
so.
had this done, yeah, but you just had this done to you by 2 dudes, and then you turn around and do it to some other dude. You know, it's
Yeah.
just kind of like, yeah.
But I found it funny that they're sitting here voting. It's very obvious who the winner is here.
Oh yeah, no,
I like
absolutely.
that even Joey didn't vote for
Yeah,
Daniel
exactly.
and went
Yeah.
with Kaz.
I mean,
So that's
I
kind of-
obviously I can see the
the siblings.
siblings voting for their sibling. I get that.
because if
But
they didn't, that'd be
anyone
hell to
else
pay.
who didn't vote for Kaz and Diana, what are you thinking?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it just what are you thinking? Now, do you guys want me to tell you? I did look up to see these
If any of them are still
relationships.
together?
Yes. Would you like to know?
Sure, yeah. Let's hear
What
it.
do you think, Billy?
I don't think any of them are good anymore. Maybe Kaz and Diana, but the rest of them probably not.
Kaz and Diana are still together. Kieran and Alara, they're friends.
Yeah.
Didn't work out, but they're friends. They're going to remain friends. And Daniel and Nina are trying to make it work in their long distance relationship.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, he's in Canada,
Canada.
Right,
and
exactly.
she's in
In the
what,
UK.
the UK, right?
Yeah. So they still FaceTime every night. You know, they're trying to make it work.
That ain't happening.
Yeah, that's my thing. I rather like Love is Blind and Married at First Sight because those shows, I think, you can make it work. They're in the same city.
Yeah.
The stakes are higher. They seem more mature individuals going into it. They're not
Now-
just there to party and hook up.
What do you think if
Real
this
stakes.
show took place with people all from the same city? Having
Oh, I
the
think it'd be a much
sibling
better show. I mean, when it comes,
wingman.
Well, I hope they
situation.
flesh it out more because I
Right.
don't really think they gave each person time to be with someone
They
else.
did.
No, they
The
didn't.
Irish,
Maybe they expected them to do that on their
siblings
own. I
didn't
don't
have
know.
They
any
did.
time, and they only had like one
Yeah.
or two people to choose from at that point,
Well-
versus everybody else getting in the house and having like 6,
Yeah.
7 different people to
Well,
choose from.
and then throughout a lot of the show, there were more freaking dudes than there were chicks, you know? So it's
Yeah.
like, well, that's kind of messed up, too. It should always be the same amount of people, right?
Yeah.
You would think the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of
So,
odd too.
I mean, the night before the vote, Daniel and Nina went on their first date. They were already a solidified couple, but they hadn't even gone on a
full
date.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
like,
I
that's
like the
weird.
fact that it was international to see like different cultures and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that brought into it. But as far as relationships, it just doesn't really work too well.
It's got to be longer if
You
you're
know,
gonna
I
do it
mean,
that way.
and again, of course, the only reason Kaz and Diana are working because they both live in the UK, you know? So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, sure, I can see that happening, you know? But, you know, Daniel and Nina, the sister? No, hell no.
They didn't even really have deep conversations about what they do and how they're going to make any of that work or anything.
I don't think.
Well, you did see a little bit of Kaz and Diana kind of touching in on their like personal lives.
I think Kaz is the only one that revealed his profession, like being a firefighter. I didn't really.
I don't remember anybody else saying that. You're right. No, I don't remember anybody else saying what they did for a living. None of them.
You have to imagine they did talk about this, and they
so.
had these conversations to get to know each other, but we never got to see.
You would expect like the couples at the end to at least have these conversations.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and it's like if they did, why didn't they show any of that?
It's not our business.
And I'm not saying that's the end all be all or anything, but that's normally conversation people have.
And that's important stuff for a conversation, right? So I mean, you're right.
Well, as a viewer watching the show, I'm trying to figure out what couple is going to make it, what's not going to make it, who I'm rooting for. I don't see any of them getting to know each other. No. They keep talking about, I want to get to know you, but I don't see it happening. So is that an editing thing? Maybe. And maybe they are getting to know each other. But like as a show, the purpose of this put out there for me to watch is to have some vested interest in these couples. And until I see that, what do I care?
Well, you got to think, though. I mean, you're talking, a full 2 weeks at least goes by, right? And we're only getting like snippets of 1 day at a time, right? Or 2 days at a time. So we're getting like a couple hours at the most of like full days. So I mean, there's plenty of stuff there that we're not even getting. So yeah, it's got to be the editing. I'm sure they did get to know each other. But why
if they don't want to give us the details of their personal lives as like viewers, show us having the conversation because they keep talking about. They kept highlighting how Julia was waiting for Joey to come talk to her. Mm-hmm. And they kept kind of like that through editing. It's like she'd be out there all alone, and he'd be in there brushing his teeth because that's all Joey did.
All I do does brush teeth, man.
And he's probably watching that back. He's like, I brush my teeth like once, maybe twice a day. People like, I mean, I was doing other things. Like I had conversations with her, but we don't see that, and they edit that. So what do we really know?
I mean, they had to have a lot of conversation. They're sleeping all in the same room and everything. So.
It's just a little strange.
That was a little awkward too. All of them like
when it was like lights out, it's over. But damn well they're talking and having conversations when the lights go out too. So they don't show us anything here. So
it's a little strange.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I appreciated was the way they eliminated people. Right? They put it right on the cast members. They're like, hey, you got to eliminate, and there was,
and it wasn't a secret vote.
Hiding. Exactly. There was no hiding it. So I was like, that's pretty damn cool. I like that. Yeah. So that for me, that was like that was probably the best part of the show for me was that. I mean, the show was okay. It was definitely better than some of the other. I mean, it's better than the Portal show. It's better than some of the other love shows we watched.
The Portal show was the worst
recently. I mean, it's not on the level of Ultimatum or Love Is Blind for sure.
Yeah, no.
But it could be if they extended it and put it in one freaking city or something, right? I mean, it could definitely be a much better show.
Yeah, I'd like to actually see follow up with them later on, which is missing from this show. I just feel like these guys aren't like invested in these relationships. That's why I do like Love Is Blind because there is a proposal. Like you're going to stand someone up at the wedding or something. Like Married at First Sight. You're legitimately getting married. Now you're going to be divorced at the end if they don't work out.
They try living together. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I just prefer that kind of stuff.
Right.
There should have been a second stage to this.
Yeah. That's also the problem with introducing like $100,000 reward too, because now it's like some people definitely are not going to be there for love. Some people are going to be there for the money now.
Exactly. I did not like that. I did not like that there was a money reward for it at the end. I think.
Well, really, it was just the Wade brothers that brought it up.
Right. And it wasn't even the brothers; it was just Will. Will's the one that kept talking about it. So
Will might be in debt.
Listen,
Will,
I need this $100,000.
Do you need the money?
Get your crap in order.
You see that car I came in with? It ain't cheap.
It ain't even mine.
He might have already spent it.
Right.
He needs that.
All right, folks. So there you have it. Dated and related, or dating and related.
Dated,
whatever Josh said.
And related. It's not that hard, people.
It's not. And now they are rated because we just rated them and it was okay. Right, but hey, let us know what you thought about it. We'd love to have a conversation with you guys, and we will catch you at our next show review.
See you guys.
See ya. I do have thoughts, but I don't know if anyone cares about my thoughts. I don't understand the attraction to the twins.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
The female twins.
What does that mean? Perfect.
No, that's Perfettos.
Yeah.
That was Laura
that bothered me too.
Laura and Jalen, yeah. He was like, I think it's some kind of cheese.
Back to what I'm saying. I need someone to comment and let me know what it is about the women
Yeah, please do. Let us
really
know what you think about the name Perfetto. It sounds like kind of does sound like cheese to me.
What do you think about the Perfetto? It does sound like
It does
cheese.
sound like cheese. Or when she's talking to Kira, right? She's like, Kira's like, I don't think I was disrespectful. You was disrespectful to me.
I mean, I'm not surprised that they got attention from the type of guys on the show.
Oh, exactly. Definitely.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Let's take into consideration here. None of these people need to be on a dating show to find a date.
No.
Well, that's why I like Married at First Sight too, because you look at them, they don't look like supermodels. They look like regular people for the most part.
Right. Oh, but you know what's funny? Jalen did say that, right? Jalen's like, man, that 100,000 would be great because no, that was in the other show. Never mind.
Jeez.
Sorry, I'm mixing up my shows here.
Huh? Jalen was in another show.
That was Survivor. That was one of the dudes in Survivor.
Yeah, you're getting your shows.
I'm getting mixed up.